during that time, so I can, facilitate the conversation and ask the panelists and the speakers to come in and, answer whatever. So we're not going to have a questions and answers at the end. We are questioning and answering now during the conversation, just to keep it flowing. All righty. So with that said, I would like then to, on behalf of Proudly South African, just introduce the discussion via a 60-second campaign and advert from Proudly SA, and I will get straight into it. So the PR team and team Proudly SA, may we go for it, please? May we play game time, and I will give context straight thereafter. Thank you. Proudly SA? There we go. No sound. Still no sound. Am I the only one? By a show of hand? No sound. Okay. All right. There's no sound, Proudly SA. May I please request that we fix that while I go straight into my intro presentation, and then we'll go back to the ad. Fantastic. And so, can all the colleagues see my screen? Yes? Okay, fantastic. I'll take you through this very quickly. We did have a colleague of mine, Miss Janine van Straten, who was supposed to take us through this, but she's unable to be with us this morning, but I will step in and hopefully do a great job. And we do this for 5 minutes just to ensure that, because we don't want to assume that everybody who's on the line is aware of what we are mandated to do as Proudly South African. So we are the country's buy local campaign, a tried and tested method the world over. Every country, most countries in the world have got their own buy local campaign that happens in their respective countries for the benefit of their own economy. Just by way of background, we were started by Madiba 23 years ago at the very first job summit, where he was dealing with the triple challenges in the country at the time, which is unemployment, inequality, and unemployment, inequality, and unemployment and inequality. That's what he was dealing with. I beg your pardon, and so. I'm trying to move this, the slides. Bear with me 1 second, please. There we go. And so the 4 focus areas that we've mandated to focus on as Proudly South African are, as you see them on the screen, consumer education, or in the private sector. So we work a lot with the private sector. And we, there's no legislation that controls the private sector. So we can't force the private sector to buy local and support local. So when we do engage them, we speak to their petrol tech side and we say, please, Clover, Unilever, Coca-Cola South Africa, Sasol, whoever it is that's in the private sector, both big business and small business, we say to them, please support the localization agenda. Buy local and support local to create and maintain jobs that we have in the country. We also work with the public sector. The public sector is obligated, in the main, to buy local, to support local, because they are, they're the biggest spenders local procurement, where the public sector procures many things, and they use a lot of money for this. If you think about the health sector, education, all of that, they procure a lot. There's a technicality currently where we're still deliberating whether this must be enforced or not, which was the case in the past, which resulted in many challenges that came to the fore. But be that as it may, the public sector is the biggest spender. And so we ask them all the time and plead with them and urge with them, excuse me, to buy local, to create jobs. And then the general public, we do a lot of activities in the public. Those of you who are online, who follow the work that we do on different social media platforms, or who every now and then go into our website to see what we're up to, you will know and you will have seen many consumer activities that we do that are relatable, that are fun, that are important, that are relatable. In fact, just last week, I think on Thursday, we did a media cook-off where we had a couple of guests. We hit a kitchen at one of our member companies, Nestle South Africa, and we were asking media to have a competition amongst themselves, cooking up a storm in the kitchen. But as much as that sounds like so much fun, which it was, the fundamental reason why we did that is that we were exposing them to some of the local products that you can use in your homes as you prepare your meals every day. Some of you will know that Nestle South Africa has got a lot of ingredients that they manufacture locally, and these are the ingredients we were using, or the media were using in the kitchen last Thursday, including some products from some of our smaller companies that were part of that activity as well. And then last but not least is to promote accessibility of locally made products and services. It's one thing for us to say to local businesses, whether you're sitting in this platform, you're an entrepreneur, or you are, sitting in any business in the private sector, for, when you hear us say all the time, buy local to create jobs or to sustain the jobs we have, and those of you who manufacture products, it doesn't matter what it is. If you manufacture those products and we don't promote that, then you will have, no one will buy from you. So if you have a product and you have no access to selling your product to a market, then it defeats the purpose. You will not continue with your business. You will lay off your staff. Your business will run into trouble. You won't make profit. You won't be able to live, and be able to operate profitably. Just quickly, this just seeks to demonstrate to you where we come from as proudly South African. We of the view, humble view, that as much as we can't solve every problem in the country, in general, from an economy and access to market opportunity, or in the context of the sector we're talking about today, which is tourism. This is where we come from. The first year of the new regime, if you like, where new executive, new CEO, and all of that, where we started, we were, focused with narrowing down the mandate so we're not all over the place and create confusion. The second year, we zoomed very much into manufacturing and growing our membership base as proudly South African, because we are a member-based campaign. The third year speaks to the kind of inroads we were making in shifting the goalpost, in a positive manner. Year 4, we were then, obviously hit by COVID during that year, and we resorted and pivoted our business into the online space, where we created portals, and we're very much, heavily grounded in the online space to be able to communicate with South Africa throughout the 2 years of COVID. Year 5 was where we see, the grow. We came back from a very horrible place from a COVID perspective, and we were making our appearance again, lifting our head and saying, we are still here as proudly as saying, year 3, increased awareness. And like I alluded to earlier on, that now you see us through it doing, doing our best to remain relevant and do the job we are mandated to do. Just quickly, membership criteria. So for you sitting in the audience today, you may want to join the campaign, but you don't know, firstly, why would you want to join the campaign? What is your benefit? And how it works. So nobody out there is allowed to go online and just grab our logo from the online platforms and place it on their product and call themselves proudly South African, because that logo of authority, we call it, is a trademark. And so we encourage you to join us, and it's a very seamless process. And what we look at 4 things. One is local content. We just want to know is that when you're making your product, whatever it may be, it might be a smartphone, it might be handbags, it might be, cutlery, crockery, it might be furniture, whatever it is. We want to know that at least 50% of the cost of production must be incurred in South Africa, and there must be substantial transformation. We just want to know that in the course of making your product, you actually did create jobs, whether it's 5 people, 10 people, 2 people, 50 people. We just want evidence that you have created jobs in the course of making your product, that you didn't go to Turkey and buy 100 handbags, bring them back to South Africa, and put a label on them that says made in South Africa, and then you sell it as a product that was made in South Africa. We understand that the other 50% that makes the 100% is that you may have to procure raw materials from anywhere in the country. That's fine. For example, in the context of making bags, we don't have enough leather material in South Africa, so you will have to source from elsewhere. And we are fine with it. Just show us that 50% of the making of the product stayed here at home. Quality is the second criteria. It's one thing for proudly South African to say local is lekker, but it's got to be good quality. It can't be Hong Kong, where consumers buy something from you in the context of tourism. A hotel group buys towels from you for the use, to use them in their hotel. And those towels that they've bought from you as a manufacturer of towels is not good quality. And after a month or 2 months, those towels are ripping apart. They're not soft on the skin anymore. They're just bad quality. That's what we look at. The third one is fair labor practice. In the course of doing your business or running your business in South Africa, do you conform to the labor laws of the country? Do you run a chop shop where you abuse your workers, you don't pay them on time, you disappear every month, and you have a million excuses, and you inconvenience people who have been working hard throughout the period of the month, and also that have people that have a responsibility to go home and be able to put food on their table? Do you conform to the labor practices of South Africa? If you do, we're good to call you a member of the campaign. And the last but not least is environmental standards. In the course of doing business, are you aware of the environment around you? Are you environmentally responsible and friendly and adhere to the environment, as it were? Quickly to talk about access to market. So when you are a member, in a nutshell, and this is my second last slide, when you're a member, in a nutshell, it exposes you to some, and gives you access rather, to some of these markets at no extra cost to you. And what you see on the screen, colleagues, is not even a fraction of the kind of stuff that we do at Proudly South African to try and make a difference in the lives of local businesses, particularly SMEs in South Africa. So we will, today, you all know that we're looking into the ecosystem in the tourism sector. On the screen, you see what it's written there, Buy Local Summit and Expo, which is our flagship event that happens every year in March. And when you are a member, we invite you to this platform at no extra cost to you. We will put up, it happens every year at the Central Convention Center. We will put up the stand for you. We'll jazz it up so it looks amazing. We will give you a facial name. All we ask you to do is to bring a product that is market ready to sell, and we will promote the product for you. We'll promote the expo, on all platforms that you may not have access to: television, radio, online, social media. Some of these platforms, they're expensive, and that's where we come in. We negotiate deals, we make it happen. We're on television, we're on radio, we're talking about your product. And when the actual event happens, it's entirely up to you how you work your way around the room. Local Fashion Police speaks to the clothing, textile, footwear, leather sector. We do a lot of work for those members who are in the design space, or in that space. Local Wine Expo, those of you who are in the wine space, whether you're a winemaker, a wine distributor, whatever but if you work in that agro-processing sector, we organize a wine show every year in July. It's coming up. It is loading as we speak on the 26th, 27th, and 28th of July in Johannesburg. And, we take some of our winemakers to that show. You do nothing as a member. You just show up. We make it look great for you. We market it. We do the whole shebang for you. Delicious Festival. Some of you, that for the last couple of years, we've been involved at the festival. We actually work very closely at this festival with the Gauteng Tourism Authority, with the CEO who's here today and her team. And we do great things at Delicious. We take members that are in the food and drink space to the festival. No cost to them, great access to market opportunity. Markets and expos in general, we do that Fourways Market and Kota Festival, Makhelwane Festival in Soweto. I mean, the list is endless. And then we also have e-commerce platforms where we understand that you may have your own e-commerce platform as a business, no problem at all. But then we give you access to our own e-commerce platform, where we have partnerships with a lot of e-commerce platforms such as Take a Lot and Zulzi and Zando and all of those people, where we have a dedicated area and space at those platforms where we're selling your product or locally manufactured products. And that's about it. I just wanted to give you that kind of background, and and give you reasons why we're inviting you to join what we call the local movement. So together we can make a big impact and demonstrate to the whole of South Africa what we mean when we say local is lekker, but give them tangible examples of the kind of difference we make in the lives of all of these people who are running small businesses. And so on the screen now is, we'll play this later, that advert that I wanted to showcase to you earlier on, which speaks to 6 different sectors, and but we'll find time to make it work later on. I'm going to stop sharing my screen, and that's a bit of background in terms of what we do at Proudly South African. And now it gives me great pleasure to request that all our speakers switch their cameras on, because we are about to have the discussion with each of them by way of a panel conversation. And while I do that, I'm just going to quickly go to the chat box and see if anybody has said anything to us so far. Given the background I have shared with you, I see there is no one as yet. And may I then request that Mr. Sakumzi Saki Makubela switch your camera on. Thank you so much, colleagues, for being here this morning. I've given some sort of an overview on the work that Proudly South African does, a fraction thereof, and I called you friends earlier on because I know that Ms. Sembiso Dlamini, you're aware of some of the things we do. I mean, we joined at the hip. We do a lot of things together. And Miss Mel Klapi, you also are aware of what we do. But just to introduce the focus area of our discussion today, and there's no manual really, it's going to be a free-flowing conversation. There might be something that you say, Stembiso, in response to how you kick off, and you might just trigger something in Mel's space that she wants to then bring up and talk about, and also Saki may want to do the same thing as well. And so what I want to kick off with is, and any of you can really just go in, is that, in fact, I just want to say, to request that rather Stembi, so to quickly give us a brief background of who you are, where you come from, what you're doing, and then Mel do the same thing, and Saki, and then we'll get into the discussion. Thank you.
Thank you very much, facilitator, for that exciting background that you've given us. My name is Stembiso Dlamini, and I'm the CEO for Gauteng Tourism Authority. Gauteng Tourism Authority is a government entity, Gauteng government entity, which falls under the Department of Economic Development. Our role, basically, we are the official marketing agency for Gauteng as a premier destination, both from a business events and eventing in general, but also for leisure. So we do that, through marketing the destination, but most importantly through strategic partnerships such as Proudly SA, that begins now to elevate our value proposition as a destination. And I was very excited when you were giving us, the background of Proudly SA, because it's exactly what is at the heart of Gauteng Tourism Authority. We're looking to proudly, promote local products, local attractions, whilst impacting positively to the communities. I think we are at the heart of what we do. We try by all means to get communities to appreciate the role that tourism plays in their livelihoods, and the role that they can play in actually positioning destination Gauteng and South Africa, broadly, to the rest of the world, but also to us who live in it, which is the domestic market. The importance of us traveling our own country, traveling our own destinations is very important, because that money circulates within, and we create and sustain those jobs and those communities. So I'll stop it there as an introduction. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, my sister. Very well appreciated. Thank you. Ma'am, please go ahead and introduce yourself and what you're doing for the sector.
Thank you very much, Happy, and thank you so very much for inviting me. I hope that I'm audible.
Yes, you are, but we're also aware that you're in the public space. So there's a few voices in the background, but you did warn us, so that's fine. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much. Well, thank you very much, and someone assist Tembi. So it's nice to see you again this morning. We were together just last week, so it's amazing to see you again. But yeah, my name is Malifa Melkabi, and I am the office manager for Soweto Tours. We are a tour operating company, so everything that Ms. Happy has spoken about and Sis Tembiso has spoken about, we are that particular stakeholder in the ecosystem that puts everything together. So be you your product owner, which is like your transportation, your accommodation, if you own a property or hotel, if you are an attraction manager or attraction owner, such as your Soweto Tires and all of the likes, we sell them to the nation. It is very important for us to actually start packaging for the domestic market. I think for the longest of time in the tourism industry, we were packaging for the international market, and we've just very, very fast and very swiftly, because of COVID-19, realized that the domestic market is actually just as important as in the international market. So as a tour operating company, which is Soweto Tours, we are trying to say to the domestic market, we are trying to say to the locals of South Africa that it is time to travel. It is time to explore your country. Gauteng has got a lot to offer in terms of attraction, in terms of activities, in terms of lifestyle, in terms of music, in terms of attractions. I mean, I'm actually sitting at the Gauteng City right now, and the Gauteng City theme park is one of our major attractions. So, in a nutshell, we are that particular stakeholder that packages everybody and puts them into one package, and we sell them to you. So when you see a package that says, come to Johannesburg, come have fun, DSTV delicious, we package that, we put together accommodation, transportation, activities before the actual festival happens, and then we sell it to you. That's in a nutshell what Soweto Tours it's all about. We find it, we negotiate for you, we package it, and we sell it to you, and we make you experience what Gauteng has got to offer, and holistically the country has to offer.
Thank you so much, Mel. Hold that thought. I'm going to be back because there's so much from what you've said that just, interlinks to what Stembiso said, and I can imagine to what Sakums is going to say as well. Sakumzi, the platform is yours. The stage is yours. Saki, I think I shouldn't have said he's the thorn amongst the roses. Now he's disappeared. But we did see him. He is here. Maybe it's connectivity issues. He is here. So we will, as soon as when you're organized, when when the connectivity is kind to you, please just show your face on the screen and I'll hand over the mic to you. But while we're waiting for Saki, there is somebody online, Claire Dikobe, who wanted to find out how much membership is. And I'm very happy to quickly say that when SME kind of run business entrepreneur, you pay 500 a year. So for a period of 12 months, that's what you pay, 500 for access to market opportunities that are in line with your specific sector. So if you make furniture, we'll take you to Decorex, for example. We can't take everybody, but we give everyone an equal opportunity. But you can't be a general dealer where then you write to us, you want to go to Decorex, you also want to say, go to Delicious, then you also want to go to Makelwane Festival. And then because, we need to be able to ensure that you work within your specific sector to be able to derive much value when you do that. So for a small business, it's 500 a month. And for a business as big as MultiChoice or Nestle South Africa, then they pay 100,000 rand per annum based on their revenue. Great. So I'm glad I'm hoping rather that it gives you answer you were looking for, Mputle Dikobe. And so while we wait for a second, we're just going to continue with the conversation. And my question then to you is that, Stembi, so what is the new trend in tourism, if any?
Yeah.
Cultural tourism, sustainability in the industry, and consumer experience. And I would imagine that from a local domestic mandate perspective, what you want to showcase is an experience. People must walk away from whatever it is. So what you package, Mel, and take people to Sakumzi or to Delicious or whatever the case may be. It's about the experience that then when they look back, they're able to exercise word of mouth and tell somebody else. So the job creation element in the industry, Stembiso, and how, in your view, does then your organization truly contribute to the ecosystem?
Thank you very much for that. I'm so happy you asked the question around what are some of the trends. you know that tourism is one of those industries that were really hard hit during the COVID-19 pandemic. And I think one of the things that we said as an industry is that we can't let a good crisis go to waste. What do I mean by that? Tourism was traditionally known as, I get on the plane if I'm international, I get on the plane, I get off at the airport, I go directly to a hotel, and I do things that are iconic that have been sold a couple of years back. We said, as an industry, we've been battling the issue of transformation. As an industry, we've been battling introducing new products and new itineraries, into various markets, whether it's domestic or international. So as an industry, there was a sector recovery plan that was put in. And we think that, as Gauteng Tourism Authority, we play in the space where we're saying tourism is no longer that traditional travel that everybody thinks of, which actually speaks to your question around what are the trends. So people are looking for authentic experiences. Every time when you travel outside the borders of South Africa, everyone says, please do not give us things that we can get anywhere. We want things that are uniquely South African. We want things that are uniquely Gauteng based or uniquely Joburg. And what does it mean? At the heart of it is they want to interact with the locals. So they want to eat where we eat. They don't want something curated just for internationals. So they want to go KwaMai and actually experience what it means to actually eat with the locals. And there comes in the stories around the people. There comes in the heritage, about people and the culture. They want to shop where we shop. They want to go and experience art, culture in our Maboneng precinct. But also there's someone who will be sitting in the US in New Orleans will say, I love jazz, and I know that Gauteng is a home for that lifestyle and for, home of jazz, a home of Amapiano. And we'll be saying, come, join us. We've got our Standard Bank Joy of Jazz coming up in September. But we will also take you through the history of jazz. We've got a route which will take you as far as Mamelodi, so that you begin to understand, where we come from as a jazz nation and what Gauteng, has to offer. So I think around the trends, if I can wrap it up in this way, people are looking for authentic experiences. And I think gone are those days where people just want to come in and actually do things that they've been taught. They want to experience, a destination. We always say at the heart of our brand, whether it's Gauteng or South Africa at large, it's our people. So our people actually carry that brand. And sustainability in this instance means our communities must actually benefit from tourism. So people want to travel to a destination where they're saying, I will be able to actually give back to a community. It's nice to travel to a place where I'm saying, if I actually, spend my hard currency in a destination, somebody will get a plate of food. Somebody will be able to go to school. Somebody gets employed. So, that responsible tourism and a responsible traveler is clearly coming out. And that's what we need to position our destination as. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Tembi. So, and I'm smiling because that is so holistic. It's a showcasing our uniqueness and owning it, right? And I'm glad that you touched on Amapiano. That movement is not just people dancing with a nice coordinated feel. It's who we are. We must own it and showcase it to the rest of the world. The jazz, the food, and the music. Those are the kind of things that set us apart that we must own. I do have a bone to pick though with the Mamelodi people, and I know they are online. Hey, Mamelodi people are such bullies. Now they claim jazz and football also. You know how they like. My boss is one of them from Mamelodi. He claims jazz and football.
Yeah. It's taking its rightful space as the country's capital. And
yes.
as Gauteng tourism, we are not shy from showcasing, Tsako Pitori as that thing.
Of course.
And jazz is just one of that.
And don't forget Bacardi, guys. Bacardi. Oh, the dance. Don't forget the Bacardi.
And spot on, Sebi. So when we collaborate, the impact is bigger. I mean, look at Gauteng showcasing Tshwane. And Tshwane will do the same thing. And also, the whole country. That's and what's your take on that, Mel? I see you, eager to go. And also, by the way, sorry, Saki, if you are, I'm told that Saki is having problems with connectivity, especially the camera. But if you are, unmute yourself, just say something. Then we know you are there. Yeah. Okay. Great.
Oh my word! Like when Stembiso starts taking the stage, I become speechless. I don't want to lie. There is nobody that advocates for brand tourism like Usis Tembiso. She could speak lifestyle. She could speak music. She could speak. I get inspired every time when I listen to Sis Tembiso. She literally makes me want to come to work every morning because of the way she just goes on and on and on. So, but in a nutshell, though, I have to say, System Biso is literally spot on. Gone are the days where we package conventionally. Gone are the days where we just say, I'm leaving on a Saturday, I'm going to Mpumalanga, and I'm gonna go rest and come back. The trends are saying cultural travel. People are now wanting to experience our lifestyle, especially in Gauteng. Remember that Gauteng is that one province where all tribes have converged. SinaMavenda, SinaBaZulu, re na le Basotho, re na le Batswana. It's that one province that encompasses each and every culture that is in South Africa. But the nice thing about it is that when people actually come to Gauteng is the touchdown city of tourism. People land at the OR Tambo. That's why our international arrivals are so high. People literally are drawn to Ivilagazi Street because of the two Nobel Peace Prize winners. But over and above that, people want authenticity. As a tour operator that has, we have consistent 5 tours on a daily basis. We operate 7 days a week, and our package Irutetu is mainly Soweto. We used to think that people are coming through to want to see Mandela House, they want to see Hector Peterson, but in actual fact, when the tourists come, when they reach Soweto, they want to be on their feet. They want to engage with the public, with the public. They want to engage with the locals. Bafuna ukukhuluma, level prat, bafuna ukamta. They want to eat what we are eating. Abasafuna ukuya kuma restaurants. They want to eat kota. They want to eat sphahlo. So when you speak about Pretoria, it's almost like the culture of Pretoria has converged in Soweto. The culture of KwaZulu-Natal has converged in Gauteng. The culture of Limpopo has converged into Gauteng. So we need to start packaging the unconventional. And at the same time, we also need to start contributing to the economy. We see plus minus 50 tourists that we transport into Soweto on a daily basis. And we urge them on a daily basis to actually just hop off because we are a hop on and hop off tour operator. When they hop off, we encourage them buy the artwork, buy the crafts that are on the street. Chill Evilagazi, chill SOA to take a tour using an tuk-tuk lapha nakalebo, but stay on the ground long enough so that you are able to support the local economy. And the more the tourists actually support the local economy, the more jobs we are creating. So when they say Uguti tourism actually contributes quite a lot to the unemployment rates of South Africa by creating jobs, they are really indeed not lying because wonke umuntu that comes to South Africa they actually spend, and we are promoting that people must stay on the ground. So by creating such events as the DSTV Delicious, Makhelwane Festival, Kota Festival, by creating those authentic experiences that are in Soweto, we are promoting a long stay in the destination, not only Soweto, not only Gauteng, but the more the products actually become innovative. If you are a leather bag maker, come display in the tourism attraction areas, go display everywhere so that we can package you. You'll be shocked. Tina, when we create create long tours, we package even handbags. There's nothing wrong with the tour operator actually giving a patron a handbag that is proudly South Africanly made, like a leather bag. So we urge the industry of proudly South African to become more creative. Give us something to package. Give us something to gift our tourists. Give us something that the tourists can take back and say, Bogala, I'm from South Africa and this is what I got and it is proudly South African. But if you do not give us that, we can't be innovative. We can't keep up with the trends. We can't support you. And when we don't support you, you don't create jobs. So all we're saying is, guys, be innovative and give it to us. Collaborate with us. We can package you, we can gift people with what you are creating. Oh my word, I can go on the whole day. I can go on the whole day, sis happy.
I'm glad you can go on the whole day because you cannot be in the space and not be able to sell it.
Yeah.
Like we saw what Tembiso did. You cannot be in that platform and hope for the best without selling it. And I'm
You have
glad to see the the love for it, the energy, the pride, and all of that. And while we take a small break, there's another question. Is a link available for membership? Okay, this speaks to me. There's no link for membership, but if you go to the website, www.proudlysa.co.za, there is an icon written membership. If you click on that, it will take you through to the process. I'm hoping that's okay for you. Lukhanyiso Kiba is who asked that question. Saki, I'll keep on trying. Are you there? Okay, not yet. So you're right, Mel. Just to pick up on what you said, is that it's more than just Mandela House. Who could have thought? Because in the past, that's what we thought. We thought we need to go to Archbishop Desmond Tutu's home. We need to go to Hector Peterson, area, which is still has to happen, by the way.
Yeah,
But
it's a
there's
draw card.
more. Yeah. Okay.
It's a draw card. Like Table Mountain is a draw card into South Africa. Mandela House is a draw card into South Africa. Desmond Tutu's house is a draw card. So what I'm trying to say is that in the ecosystem, right, every partner, be you a product owner, be you a service, government, and everybody else, just if you are in the ecosystem of e-tourism, you need to understand that as SAT, right, South African Tourism, they will identify draw cards that attract people into South Africa.
Yeah.
Now, everybody else then needs to then be able to tap into these draw cards and then distribute. When people fly into Cape Town, they want to see Robben Island. They want to go to Table Mountain. But then, are you situated in the right spot to then attract and start just dawn? When are you able to harvest from the traffic that is being pulled in by the draw cards? So people might want to come to Mandela House, but are you in a space to then harvest from the numbers that are dropped off in Mandela House? That is the trick. So gone are the days where we're gonna say, no, it's all about Mandela House. No, they're just a draw card. Place yourself in a space where you are able to harvest from these trees. These trees have got many fruits. You just need to be smart enough to harvest the traffic. I see people, there are dancers, Evilagazi Street next to Mandela House. Those people make money. There are craftsmen next to Mandela House, they make money. There is a coffee shop next to Mandela House, they make money. Where are you situated? What are you producing? What are you creating? Are you innovative enough? Do you have the right product to harvest from this big tree that is Mandela House, that is Tutu, that is Cape Town, that is every other attraction, if you are at a museum? is there enough businesses around there? Is there enough operators around there that are able to just harvest from these attractions? That is what we need. That's what we call non-conventional tourism. Use those draw cards to then support your own business and your own craft.
I couldn't have said it better. And given the challenges we have with connectivity, I have no idea which part of the world my brother Sakumzi is at, but I believe he's losing his mind trying to connect with us. It gives us a challenge to actually organize, because I think the energy in the room, if we were to be physical and showcase some of the, products that we have as a collective, would be great. And even if the phones let us down, we don't care about that. So my sisters, Tembi, so I think we've got our work cut up for ourselves. Maybe in the next 3 months, organize something, physical. And I actually want to run a survey online. Those of you who are connected, by a show of hands, please send us messages. If you agree to us organizing something where we can all gather, send us a message. It'll depend on that. If we have enough yeses, then we will, we'll make a plan. We'll make a plan. But let me tell you, Sis Tembi, so before I go back to you, is that you triggered a thought for me, because in some of the stuff that you said, you mentioned what has now become my personal favorite place to go to. Never before did I ever think that I would find my interesting and relatable. At some point, I viewed it as, I don't know. First of all, you know most what I mean, but I've been to my several times, drive there myself, find parking. Don't look for convenience, ne? When you go to my. Don't come with your certain tendencies, because it's not going to happen. Drive, find parking, and understand that the minute you step out of the car, everyone is your friend, which is a beautiful thing. So to think I went to my and had a meal. Okay, firstly, I was going to go look for my traditional outfit for whatever event I was attending. And I happened to be the best dressed when I got there, because I got exactly what I had hoped to find, showcasing the Zulu girl in me. But before I left, after I'd found my stuff, I sat there where, there's a whole open area where there's a braai. And I had my meal for 32 Rand, I think it was. A big piece of meat, some pap, some chakalaka, and gravy. The one that you eat with your hand and you have no shame. You know what I mean? And it was just a beautiful, had you asked me this 20 years ago, 15 years ago, I'd be like, have you lost your mind? I'm not going to go there. But it's there. Yeah. And it shows you that our children emulate what we do. And when we tell them it's okay to do this. So I went with my 14-year-old, who then told me last week that, Mama, because for heritage, whatever it is, there's a traditional day that they're doing at school. And she wants an outfit as a memulo, to showcase what that means. But I think her biggest focus was, can you put 100 Rand notes around my outfit? Because she wants to look rich at school, because it goes with that as part of it. But the point I'm trying to make is that who would have thought? Who
Exactly.
would have thought that? Yeah.
It's the beauty of us, living our heritage and taking pride in our heritage. There's something called, when we talk sustainability, we're not talking sustainability around green. We're also talking about preservation of culture. Yes. And how do you preserve culture in this day and age, where our children are also exposed to so many things, to the advent of digital and social media and other platforms where they source other foreign information that do not know much about our culture. So I think it's a lovely thing to be working with Destination Gauteng, because in here we believe that storytelling and just that authentic experience is important. Anywhere in the world, nobody creates an experience for your convenience, like you said, Happy. That don't look for your convenience of the sentence, but you can go anywhere. Whether you are in Paris, whether you are in Sao Paulo, in Brazil, There's no convenience. You walk in there and you find your own way. You get in there, you experience their culture, you experience their food. And that's exactly what we're doing in terms of preservation of culture. We want Kwamamai be a pilot for everything. If you look at what Mel was saying around Vilakazi Street, can you imagine if we take that blueprint, and that's what we're trying to do as Gauteng Tourism, you take that blueprint of what's happening in Vilakazi Street, and you're able to replicate in the West Rand, in Manseville, at the Exit House. Already you've got the oldest church in there. Already you've got families and communities that are operating small businesses. What to do is to declare precinct a heritage site, and we begin to take the things that made Vilakazi Street to work, and we put it in there. I mean, if you go to Sidibeng area, you've got Sharpeville. You've got the Sharpeville Memorial. The entire Dlomo Street and Dlomo Dam and that street in that precinct can be turned into that precinct, wherein we can replicate what we know works in Vilakazi. Similar thing when you go to Tshwane, Solomon Mahlangu Memorial. We can turn those things into precincts, or those areas into precincts, whilst we're actually doing what? Making sure that the communities benefit. So that's the one, sustainability, making sure that we can have entrepreneurs flourishing, making sure that we drive economic activities in our in our townships. We can actually even drive events in there. So we begin to look at things that are authentically Gauteng, things that are authentically South African, and we're able to curate those things to the outside world, so that it actually increases our value proposition, and we can drive the sustainability that we want. Because we can't just talk sustainability in terms of green. We've got to, somebody, Umam Dlamini is sitting right there at the corner, must understand that if I treat a tourist well, if I give service, that's my livelihood, and I'm actually representing the broader community. So that's one thing I like about this conversation, because it talks about how do we preserve what is our own, and we're not saying we won't incorporate with what the rest of the world is doing, because we play in the global space. But it's important for us to preserve our history, our culture, and our heritage through storytelling, through music, through arts, through how we wear, through how we carry ourselves, through how we speak, so that we can get that spin-off, or that benefits that we deserve in revenue, which will increase visitor economy, and our GDP growth will be there, and people will get the jobs that are much needed in our country.
And so spot on. Before I bring you back in, Mel, in fact, I will bring you back, but just now, but I'll come back to you, Tembi. So is that, so as proudly South African, we tell everybody buy local, to create jobs, support local. But it's very important in the course of doing our business for us to walk the talk. So I don't just come to this platform and say, let's do this and do that, but we also walk the talk. And it's a pity that we're struggling with Sakumzi, but not so long ago, my team and I went to Sakumzi, Vilakazi Street, for lunch. We could have gone to Rockets in Bryanston. And nothing wrong with that, because we've done that, but we took a conscious decision to go to Vilakazi Street at Sakumzi. In fact, and I'm not just saying this because Sakumzi, was part of this conversation. The year before that, or a couple of months before that, for one of our outings as well, we went to 1947 in Vilakazi Street. So we've now experienced a high-end kind of eatery in the middle of Vilakazi Street, Soweto. Then we've swapped to a more, lively, open, kind of environment and camaraderie. And to your point, Mel, when we went to Vilakazi, to Sakumzi, there were a lot of tourists sitting around, eating, dancing. While we were dealing with that, there was a group of a cappella musicians that came from nowhere. And that the tourists were trying to outsing them. And then there were a group of Pantula dancers who did their things. And then the tourist had 2 left feet. But it was just, can you imagine when they walked away from that experience and they flew back to wherever they came from? Not only was the food amazing, not only was the owner of the business interacting with them, walking the floor, going to each table, not only did we bring the proudly SA energy with the team, I have a crazy team that makes me look good. But anyway, and not only did they dance, with the Pantula dance and the a cappella, it was such a beautiful moment all round for us as South Africans, because everybody joined in. It doesn't matter who they are. They joined in. There was a bus of tourists that stopped, got off the bus, went crazy. It was like June 16, where we, like a mini June 16. And which was amazing to see. And I just wanted to, highlight that, to speak to the point you're making, that the tourists are looking for a holistic experience. But Stembiso, how I wish the organizers and the owners, and you can also come in, Mel, of the Makelwane Festival could replicate it elsewhere as a franchise. And you alluded to that earlier on about the fact that, if Vilakazi Street can be replicated in Tembisa or Mamelodi, wherever it is, because not everybody will be able to go to Vilakazi Street from Katlehong or from wherever, but I think Makelwane Festival is one of our best creations. That not only is a beautiful place to be because there's nice music and there's different kind of food and cuisine, but it is an economy touch point where the whole street benefits. I mean, this year we adopted a house as Proudly South African, and we painted it into proudly South African colors and all of that. And some of our member companies were selling their product from that house. Next door to it, it's another business that came with jumping castles for the kids, and I believe that house gets paid to host. Stembi, so you want to take us through? I get excited about my Canada.
Yeah.
Showcases that not only do we go to Centon to do the Buy Local Summit, but we also go to Township, because Township economy is just as important.
Indeed. And by replication, we don't mean that we must take exactly what's happening in Vilakazi Street and take it to next to Sharpeville Memorial in Citibank. Always saying there is something that works. It's a flagship project. I'm sure we can learn from it. You know what you remind me of? You remind me when I was still a lot younger, and there was Moritele Jazz Festival in Mamelodi. And for some reason that jazz festival was on a Sunday, hey? When people have to wake up, either go back to campus or go back to work. But what you are talking about is when you get to the park, you actually pass households. We knew that parking was not an issue because there were yards that were readily available to make people park their cars. We knew that there's no you're going to come out of the festival and your car is not there because the car guards, who are community young people, were not working, and they've now looked at an opportunity to make money. We knew that those that were coming from neighboring provinces, Limpopo and other, or far of south of Joburg, northwest, they will find before Airbnb, those houses became accommodation for those that attended, or the festival attendees. And so you saw an economic spin-off that you could never believe. Moritele Jazz was not just a Sunday thing. It was just a whole weekend, affair. So it meant that restaurants, Diko Tatsako Mamelodi, would be actually selling as fast as they could. It meant that Jack Buddha would be busy during that period because people would want where they can take, the pre festival. So and you would find that a lot of people, Mamelodi now became, there was that Mamelodi weekend that was happening. So that's what we're talking about. How do we then ensure that a product such as a Makelwane Festival is replicated everywhere, where a particular community will have this property that can actually, make sure that there is that economic spin-off in that community. I think that's what makes our job quite interesting, because it's no longer. I mean, I will give my last example. Happy will be. We've got a signature event happening at Kyalami Racecourse, which is called, Kyalami 9 Hour. And by the way, with that, as Gauteng Tourism Authority, we've recently worked with Orange Farm, Spin City. We've just renovated it with the owners. There's a relationship between Kyalami 9, what is happening in Kyalami in Midrand, and what is happening in Spin City, because motorsport is who we are as a province. But there's also Soweto Drifters that actually gives you that, the sense of, there's adventure, there's adrenaline, but also motorsport is at the heart of what we do. And we're going to do a motorsport, not what the world actually dictates, but we're going to give you a motorsport experience in a Gauteng way. So whilst 9 Hour at Kyalami in Midrand becomes an anchor, we've got a spin-off of that in Orange Farm. We've got a spin-off of that, at Soweto Drifter. So we can give you that experience if you're traveling from, anywhere in the world, coming for 9 Hour, because it's an international event. We can actually tell you, come and see our drifters in Soweto. Come and experience that. Be behind the steering wheel. So this is what we're talking about when we're saying it's a whole, there's a whole beneficiation thing, but there's a sustainability element, of it. We don't stage one thing and then we forget about it and go look for another one. We look for, that sustainability as Gauteng Tourism Authority. Thanks.
Thank you so much, Sister. And there you go again. You see, I told you, my melody were bullies. You now mentioned Morel Telepark. They started a long time ago, these guys. There we go. They own this thing. But anyway, we must organize a coup. Take these things away from them. But it gives me great pleasure. So Sakums is online now. Please come online, my brother. I'm hoping you heard some of the things we're talking about. We've been throwing your name around. But before I actually let you go and talk about anything, Mel has told us a lot about the work she does with you. But congratulations for extending the business to the burbs. So there is Sakumzi now. Hey, there is Sakumzi now at the Zoo Lake. Congratulations, my brother, because for us, it's more jobs. You need people there to run the business. So well done. Welcome. Grab the mic.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. Thank you, Happy, for inviting us. Yes, we have moved to Zoo Lake in the last 2 months. And we started Sakumzi, as you know, in the last 22 years. In November, will be 23 years in business. There was no job creation in Vilakazi before we started in 2001. We started with 4 people. Yes, people used to come to see the Archbishop Desmond Tutu. They used to visit the former President Nelson Mandela's house, the famous Vilakazi Street, but there was no economy. No one was exchanging money. It was only tourists coming, taking photos, and they're out. So when we started Vilakazi, we were able to create jobs for Sakumzi restaurant. Before 2010, we had 110 people. Indirect jobs we created in Vilakazi Street. It's 10 more restaurants that also employ more than 700 people. We've got people who are selling craft, where when you visit Happy, you are able to buy a dress in Vilakazi Street or buy something, So we've got another 200 plus minus 800 people are working in Vilakazi Street that are able to feed plus minus 5 people as their breadwinners. So yes, we are making a difference to our staff, to the people in Vilakazi Street as well.
What a beautiful story. People, and I'm hoping the people that are online are buying into people's stories. That's what we do. You buy into something that makes you, gives you a fuzzy feeling, is what we generally buy into as a people. And so Sakumzi, you say, give us an idea. of how many people as a business, how many people you employ at Vilagazi, restaurant at Vilagazi, and how many more jobs have you now created by opening up the other restaurant?
With COVID-19, more than 100 restaurants have closed that are bigger than Sakumzi. So as we had 110, we had to ask people to stay at home. So we had to restart again. With your COVID-19, it's still affecting us. Now with load shedding, we have to buy solar systems, we have to buy generators. We are like building up from scratch, but we have been able, because the economy has changed already. We've got your tourists, we've got your domestic market that are supporting. We've got your corporate companies when they support as well. We are able to sustain the jobs that we have. Now we have 65 people working at Sakumzi as we are growing again. And in Zulek, Sakumzi, we've got 28 people. And in the next 3 months, because already we've got bookings for your end of the year parties and all that, we should be having more than 100 people that we're gonna employ in Zulek. So we are picking up, and indirectly, as I said, the jobs that we have created in Vilagazi Street, it's more than 600 people that are able to buy cell phones, that are able to buy TVs, that are able to buy beds for themselves. Others that work with me at Sakumzi, they have bonds. Their children are learning in private schools. They are paying West Bank, they are paying Stenic, meaning they've got cars that are paid from your West Bank. So there is an economy. When I say there was no economy before, it was just people coming in and out. Now, when we have our local people supporting our products, the economy moves forward.
Sakumzi, for me, it's about, look at you. 65 people and plus 28, the new crew, Ezulek. Those are, and my maths is going to dribble me now, but don't judge me. But it's 65 people plus 28. Those are 65 households and 28 households who you've given dignity to. I'm of the view, and it's an argument that I'm prepared to defend at any given time. When you give somebody employment, you're giving them dignity. For them to be able to buy themselves toiletry. You mentioned beds. Some of those people may have been sleeping on the floor, and you contributed to giving them dignity. But not only that, that's not underplay the 600 jobs that you alluded to, which are a spin-off, and they are part of the ecosystem, rather, which is the discussion today. In fact, I'm of the view that your story is not told enough, quite honestly. And I know that you're not in this business to get brownie points. I know that. You've been in the business for 23 years. It's not about brownie points. You are here making a difference, but I do still think that your story is underplayed and it's not told enough. And this is why platforms such as this are so important. How I wish that we had a bigger platform to discuss this. We had the relevant people to be able to spread the narrative beyond the people that we have. So it's also lovely, which was I'm bringing you in, Mel. I believe when I did my bit of digging in preparation for this discussion that you work very closely with Sakumzi, which you have alluded to. So you do bring some people to visit.
Yes, I do. I agree with you completely, Happy, when you say Sakumzi's story is really underrated. And it's amazing how, at the beginning of the conversation, I think when Sister introduced herself and what they do, it's all about authentic stories. It's all about telling the story. Now, this is what we do very well. Like in our company, Soweto Tours, the guides that we put on our buses, they are not from any other location apart from Soweto. These are young people that have lived the narrative of Soweto. they have parents that are actually beneficiaries of the likes of Sakumzi, and these are young people that are able to narrate the story in passion, in feeling, and like Maba, when they guide, they're telling their own life stories on a daily basis. Now, this platform that you have created today allows us to tell the real narrative of Igauteng. We are Gautengers. System said spoke about innovation. Sakumzi came with innovation, and because of that innovation, we had a replica of restaurants on Vilagazi Street. We speak about Makelwane Festival. I think from a tour operator perspective, like I said earlier on, we are looking for new things. We are looking for new events. We are looking for new restaurants. Sakumzi is an amazing person. I mean, Nyayibona Zulek, just up the road from Vilagazi Street on Pefeni. He opened up Ichisanyama, Ebalwe Sakumzi. I remember when you guys took to the streets of Vilagazi Street and you guys were wearing the proudly South African black delelas. I follow you guys very well, so I know you have a vibrant team. So, those are such platforms where we need to start becoming more visible. Those entities that have the ability to narrate stories of our product on the ground, we need to start becoming a little bit more visible because, like you said, when you spoke about your brand and when you spoke about your logo and how people need to use it for verification, it is platforms such as Proudly South African, Gauteng Tourism Authority, Joburg Tourism Company that needs to now start being on the ground a little bit more. It is, I think, over the COVID, just after COVID, we've seen an influx of people actually complaining about how they're getting ripped off by pop-ups. There are many. I mean, in the tourism industry, it's easy to get into the tourism industry. However, there is a big gap between the authenticity and the real people that are providing the service and those people that are really just wanting to take advantage of our tourist way too. So it is very important for the likes of entities as yourself to start being on the ground very more, start seeing the products and start telling their stories and validating them so that we regain the trust of our travelers. Travelers now, we spoke about trends. Travelers now are not using service providers anymore. So very soon, Tina will be non-existent. But the thing is, we need to start getting to a point where you need to validate us. You know what I mean? Be more on the ground, celebrate stories more, tell them a little bit more, because we don't have the platform to actually tell the stories a little bit more. I'm a tour operator. I'm looking for products. I'm looking for new properties. Yes, when you go into social media, you see property developers all over the show. But are we actually developing in the right places? What's happening to Soweto Hotel? What is happening to that square around Soweto Hotel? It is dilapidating on its own, but it's a true story that we need to revamp. We want to take people a trip down, but we can't do that anymore because it's not well taken care of. You know what I mean? Where are people that, I mean, we see a lot of B&Bs. Why can't these people form a consortium and buy land and build a proper hotel in Soweto so that people stop accommodating in the north? Baze elokishini. Build a hotel in Ekurhuleni, build a hotel in Sidibeng, build a hotel in Pretoria, Ekasi. Let's start being innovative. Guys, it's not all about tangible product. Encanyana nje, like Usakums was saying, they're able to buy phones. Let us start investing in products that we as tour operators can actually package. We can't package if we don't know about you. When you talk about the tourism value chain, people tend to think Uguti, the tour operators are just people that put people in cars. No, tour operators. Yeah, I mean, normally when I go to workshops and stuff and everything, people don't take me seriously. But I know, okay, how many cars do you have? Meet guys, The responsibility and the duty of a tour operator, it's to find new product. It is to collaborate with new products. It is to make sure that we negotiate good prices. It is to make sure that we package. If you go to Moretile Park, can I package Moretile Festival? Can I package Makelwane Festival? Like, where's the collaboration? In Makelwane Festival, we said to them, guys, let's get together and we package a weekend getaway Soweto. But the highlight of that weekend will be Makelwane Festival. DSTV Delicious. Where is the package that packages DSTV Delicious? We can create a 4 or 5 day experience, and then the highlight becomes DSTV Delicious. Throughout those days, we then spread. It's all about the harvest. We are saying we will bring the people here. Putsa Kumzi knows very well. I've brought in international celebrities that actually come. We collaborate a lot. Just Uguti Istori Sake must be told a little bit further. It might not be done by platforms like this, but international celebrities that come through our route Soweto, they eat Gababusa Kumzi. He greets them, and they are the ones that tell the story. But all I'm saying is to everybody in the value chain, give us something to package, guys. We want to package you. We want to take people to these events. But the ultimate goal is to keep people on the ground long enough so that they can spend and buy those proudly South African products. So give us more. Give us juice, give us meat, give us events. Those things that, I mean, the last time we were rugby, I think it was a couple of years ago, the Blue Bulls and Angaznan.
Thomas.
Hey, bekungasemnandi eSoweto. You know, when System speaks about, Moretele Park, where you would pass amongst a neighborhood houses, when you are saying you adopted a house, there's a street bash. Beku street bash all over along Orlando. It was blue. Let us start going out there and canvassing for events that can bring the numbers on the ground. In that way, we start becoming innovative, because we really need something to package. Mina, that's all my cry. Mina, I want something to package. I want to package yonke into say proudly South African. I want to package your products, your crafts, put them in a goodie bag and say thank you to my client. We want quality stuff. And the biggest challenge, hey, you guys know how to price, eh? We are proudly South African, but when it comes to pricing, hey Nyatura guys, like I'm wearing a Kwe watch. I know they're one of your favorites. And they went into a collaboration with me as Mrs. Soweto, right? To promote it. Give us the things. When we go internationally, designers dress us. When we go, we just came back from the Indaba. The Indaba, there is international delegates that come through. Dress us. Dress means something that says proudly South African. Engizwe-gqoka the whole week Indaba. WTM, ITM, let's collaborate so that we sell the story further.
No. Let me come in there, because your passion is running away with also me. Like now I'm planning ahead with you in my head. I want to bring Sakumzi back, but I want to ask this Tempi, so how can you help Sakumzi? And my question, just to put it into context, it's not even about financial. At times, and I'm going to ask Sakumzi that, what is the one thing that he believes is still a challenge in his operation 24 years later? By the way, he said 23. 23 years later, we twins. Sakumzi proudly says also 23 this year. But what is it that we can help you with? Because running a business, particularly in the town or anywhere for that matter, we know that it's not easy. And I wanted us to hear from him some of the challenges that he still faces as a business, where he believes, and we may not have the answer, but that's the reason why we are deliberating today, and maybe when he mentions what the challenge is, that's where Sis can come in and say, in fact, by the way, this is what we can do, collaborate for a bigger impact. And maybe that's what we can say proudly and say, this is what we can do. Sakumzi, I have the utmost respect for your hustle. You're a hustler of note. During COVID, you could have given up afterwards, but you never did, because giving up meant that even the people you had laid off for a while would have lost their jobs completely had you not started again. And look at you today. And so I'm asking you now, before we let our audience come in, because I see there's like 6 questions, 2 for Sister, 1 for Sakumzi, 1 for you as well, Mel. What is the one thing that you still feel is a challenge for you as a business, Sakumzi?
Thank you for the question, Happy. Before COVID-19, we were running smoothly. There was something called culture in my organization because we had an HR, we had someone who's doing marketing, we had someone who's doing admin. Everything was flowing because we've been doing this for years and years. But as I said earlier, more than 100 bigger restaurants have closed down. 2020, 2021, when other businesses were closing down, we were able to open a Caltex filling station that was closed for more than 15 years. We also ran a panel shop in Bruma, Safana Panel Beaters. More than 7 panel beating shops have been closing down. And also we had different departments there that were strong. When there was COVID, Ford could not bring parts from America. Japan was shut down as well. We could not get parts for Toyota or for Nissan. So we could not get cars out. And the rent was continuing, which is a rent of more than 300,000. But Safana Panel Beaters is still opened. So we saw flames with COVID-19. And the impact of COVID-19, as I said earlier on, is still with us because on top of that, there's water shedding. On top of that, there's load shedding. We had to buy a solar system and the solar is not enough. We had to buy a generator. For Safana, a generator is more than 600,000. For Sakumzi, it's more than 500,000. But every time there's load shedding, we have to pour diesel. We have to now and then repair the generator or service it. So it's been really, really tough to run a business in the country. So what is short now? What has been broken with COVID-19 and all the challenges? It's been something called research. With your McDonald's, your Nando's, those are big organizations. They know that there was SARS or there were other epidemics before, but they are always prepared when something happens like your COVID-19. It's not the first time. They have research that when this happens, they change how they do business. So they were able to move faster and do takeaways. But our product, we could not because we mostly serve buffet. Our clients is 20 people coming. When you visited Sakumzi, you are about 50. Another 100 comes in. So our clients must eat in a record time, 1 hour in, 1 hour out, 1 hour in. So to change the product, that's why we decided to do Sakumzi Pefeni next to the filling station up the road. So what we need at the moment, it's your marketing. What we need as Sakumzi restaurant, it's your HR, human resource management. We need to have a recruitment strategy. How do we keep our staff happy in times that are troublesome like this? It's nerve-wracking to run a business in the country because there's just so many going on. We are growing this side. With growth comes a lot of pain. So maybe we'll start with your human resource management. We'll start with your marketing. Before we had TEP, where we used to get training now and then. In business, you can't just say someone knows marketing or knows HR. Now and then, you need to have an ongoing training. So that culture, those departments are a little bit weak now. So where we would get assistance with big corporate companies, even the banks, even your Balo World, they do have training academies. So they could take us in and say, you want to learn more on marketing? Here's a marketing, whatever modules. You want to do HR, they can assist. And if your HR is strong, you are able to grow faster. Because where we are now, we've got opportunities to open in Sunninghill. We have opportunities to open in Centurion, in Cape Town. When I attended tourism in Daba, my tour operators are saying, when are you coming to Cape Town? But I can't go if my HR is not strong. So job creation is something that can be done, but big business must work with small business, and our crime or unemployment will go down. And I will end with, why is there too much crime in South Africa? Why is there too much unemployment? It's because people are not working. The people we have assisted in Vilakazi Street, for example, next door, when they started, I assisted them with a manager that has been working with me. I assisted them with a professional chef so that they don't pay the school fees of doing things the wrong way. More than 100 businesses are closed every year within 6 months. And then after 5 years, the ones that have survived, they normally, another 3 always close as well. You'll be left with 2. So to start is not easy. With Restaurant Vilakazi, when they started, I was there to assist them with a cook that has been working with me, also with a manager, so that they don't pay the same school fees. So for me, I'm just passionate about creating jobs. Thank you.
Well, clearly, honestly, you are, and I don't know how you feel, Mel and Sister and those who are online, so selfless for you to have offered next door, the restaurant next door, your chef that had been in your system for a while, and whatever you did to, and your words are to protect them from paying school fees, the initiation that they would have to go through and spend money on securing. And this is why really your business is blessed, and it's continued because you are so selfless. And thank you for being real and not saying on this platform, I need 5 million rand, or I need, because at times businesses don't necessarily need money because they know how to bring in money, but they need other, help in other areas, like you say, and you are so spot on. You can't extend your business if your HR is not strong. You will have problems. And thank goodness that you are sober enough to not want to bite more than you can chew. You're saying, hold on, hang on, I need HR, I need marketing. And I'm glad you went, this is Tay. I will tell you what I think Proudly South African can assist you with. You are joining us, right? I've just thrown you under the bus. You are joining the movement.
We've been knocking all the way.
Fantastic. We'll make it happen. So you can use that logo and say, I'm Proudly South African, but we will help you. I will commit just now. Sister, your turn first. What can you do?
So quite interesting conversation that you've brought in, and a couple of things that also Mel said. But I just wanted to start with what you said about the jobs that Sakumzi is bringing. So those are direct jobs. He's actually doing more than just the numbers that he's giving, because we all know that tourism or hospitality in general has got that multiplier effect. So it's a restaurant business. He buys his products somewhere. So where he buys the products, those are jobs that he's sustaining. If there is a local local or community vegetable garden, that's where he gets his fresh produce from. It's able to sustain and actually create other jobs. And that's the beauty about the work we do. It's not just one, it's not one dimensional, but it's got that multiplier effect. And this is what we do. And I think I couldn't have explained the multiplier effect as best as Sakumzi has done. But my second point, before I come to what can be done and what has been done, Mel talks about we need to take out stories. So when Happy started, said, as Proudly SA, they create market access, and similarly to Gauteng Tourism Authority. Quite recently, we've launched what we call a Gauteng Traveler App Guide. And that app guide, we paid everything. We paid the technology. We're going to actually make sure that it gets maintained. What do we need from there? I'm challenging you, Mel. We need products to load, free of charge. All we've got to do, you hook up with the team at Gauteng Tourism Authority, and then there's, obviously they've got to check issues of quality, like Happy was saying, that quality becomes important. And then we load you on the app. We take the responsibility to actually market the app, take it out there, take it to the rest of the world to say, any product that you see on this app is authentic. Any product that you see on this app, we have verified that quality. And they're not going to run away with the money. You're not going to, get, a substandard service. So even these platforms that we create, and it doesn't mean that we're the only one. Happy said they've got e-commerce plays an important role. And we do know that if you're not out of sight, out of mind, if you're not, on site and people can see the product that you're offering, chances are people are not going to buy. And I like the fact that you talked about disintermediation of the middlemen, tour operators and all that. People are booking directly. So these platforms that ourselves as Gauteng Tourism Authority and the likes of Proudly SA we're developing is to give that market access and to give that voice to these products that ordinarily would not be seen in Germany. But when a government entity has got that stamp of authority over it, then it becomes, it is authentic, they can vouch for it, and there's recourse should something happen. So I thought, let me just, put that. Sakumzi mentioned something quite interesting around our restaurant. Our model was that people sit down. And the Department of Economic Development, through their business unit of inclusive economy, had a project, rolled out a project called Last Mile, where they partnered with Uber Eats. And I think the objective was, how do we take businesses, particularly in our township, and actually incorporate them into the last mile? So you've cooked, you are in the kitchen, and you need to take your food into that last mile to the consumer. And I think this is one of those projects that we need to, follow through. As answering your question, Happy, as to what is it that we do to assist. I think that last mile project is an important one. We've seen products, or we've seen businesses actually latching onto that, and their products are now listed on Uber Eats. And I think it's something that we can actually follow through with the colleagues from DET and link them up with Sakumzi so that they can explore what are some of the possible ways to be part of that program. He also mentioned the issue around load shedding, which affects everyone, and particularly our small businesses. And we know that small businesses have closed down because of load shedding and other things. So Department of Tourism, National, through IDC, have got what they call Green Fund. And it's something that perhaps we can follow through and say, where is that? Can people still apply? Is it closed? And Green Fund basically is just encouraging greener ways and sustainable ways of dealing with alternative energy as one of that. I know a couple of projects that were assisted to put, for example, your solar panels, so that it becomes easier for those SMEs and those businesses to operate. But also it's things like waste management, which can be an issue that affects the environment and sustainability of our destination. So that Green Fund actually looks at that. And as Gauteng Tourism Authority certainly will be in touch with the Department of Tourism so that we can get that information out as possible to some of the players. Sakumzi, who's making a huge difference in our communities, to say, this is how far they are, these are some of the interventions that we can bring in. He mentioned the issue around business support, which is so critical, and I'm humbled to hear a very seasoned businessman saying, I need marketing, I need human resources. So, in Gauteng, we've got Gauteng Enterprise Propeller, whose role is not just to fund small businesses only, but to actually conduct business support. And we can partner with the likes of CEDA to say, how do we support our businesses in terms of the business support and business acumen that is required to run a business. But us as Gauteng Tourism, we have partnered with CatSitter. CatSitter is the sitter that is responsible for tourism, hospitality, culture sector, and those that relate to the work that we do. They do have programs like learner placements, where you've got young people who have gone to university, they've graduated, and they're looking to be placed in environments where, and it's not just hoteliers or in hospitality, but those that have studied human resources, they would want to be placed in a hospitality business or a tourism business. Those who studied communications, they would want to be placed in those businesses that relate to hospitality and tourism. So PetSitter is one of our partners. We can certainly go back to them and say, look, we've had this interesting discussion. How do we come on board to ensure that where you've got learners that have been trained, that have been skilled, they can be placed in these businesses so that they begin to assist. And from our side as tourism, Gauteng Tourism Authority, we do have a business unit of a tourism sector support, where capacity building and skills development is one of our focus areas. We can certainly take this, because when a seasoned businessman says, look, we need training, we need these academies, we've got to listen and say, perhaps the work that we're doing is not answering to the challenges that exist on the ground. And for me, it's just to appreciate that feedback. And certainly from Gauteng Tourism Authority point of view, we're going to take it back and say, what sort of capacity building programs which are fit for purpose, which are informed by what our entrepreneurs are looking for on the ground, that we can actually introduce, partner with private sector, and deliver those training services or capacity building programs to see our businesses flourish at the end of the day. I'm going to put a pin there, Osep. Thanks.
Thank you so much, Sis Tay. Thank you. I have no doubt that what you've brought to the fore as your parting shot for now, before we bring some of the questions from the audience and say our goodbyes, I have no doubt that some of the recommendations you've made will see light of day. I have spotted some of your team members on the Facebook conversation, so I'm multitasking. And I know they're listening to you, so when you get off and you have time to debrief and chat to them, they will have been exposed to this conversation anyway. So thank you for that. And just like you, Sis Tay, I am humbled as well to see a renowned business person who is demonstrating vulnerability. Sakumzi just showed us what it means to be vulnerable and say, I actually do need help. And my areas of need are this and this and that, HR, marketing and that. And I think that's a big thing. That's really a big thing, because some people don't. We may have sat there and thought, look, I've been 23 years in the game, I'm good, but being vulnerable is actually a beautiful skill. But and I have no doubt that your humility, my brother, is going to pay your bill. In fact, your humility is paying your bills, because you're humble enough to say, I'm a little stuck. And so thank you for the input you've made, Sis Tay, and we'll take up this conversation offline with Sakumzi. And I'm hoping people who are online, this conversation is also for you. There might be another potential Sakumzi who's sitting in the audience. There might be another Sakumzi who's sitting in the audience, who's doing their best their own way. And this information is also assisting them. And so with that said, what Proudly South African can do is, once we, finalize the formalities with them, so because we do work particularly closely with member companies. Otherwise, we get 20,000 people, the whole country, saying this is the kind of help that we need. So our business model is structured that way. And we can assure you, Sakumzi, that when you are on, and I know you are almost there, we will, market your offering for you. We will give you PR opportunities, which is clearly what you said you need. But outside of using our resources and capabilities, we will then go to other stakeholders, and some of them, Sister has mentioned them, stakeholders that have programs that are designed to benefit small businesses, non-financial programs where they can assist you to run a profitable business holistically. What I want to just emphasize for those who are, online, I don't want to create a confusion where somebody thinks we will take over their marketing activities. It's not going to happen. We still need to take care of the marketing activities of Proudly SA, but we will amplify them. We will augment them. We will not start from scratch and go into a boardroom and strategize how to market your business. That's never going to happen because we don't have the capacity or the resources to do that. But once you're in, and this is why you see many brands on our platforms, that's part of marketing their products. So that can be done. With that said, I just want to say that on Facebook, there is comments that I think the panel must be aware of before we say our goodbyes. Somebody says, well done to Mel and Proudly SA and to the Gauteng Tourism Authority. Itlang koval, baritla koval.
That can only be Osmaletola.
Yes, the name is Maletola.
Yes, yeah. She's an advocate. She's an advocate for Val. Trust me, she's doing amazing stuff.
And congratulations on the expansion, my brother Sakumzi Makubela, upwards and forwards. That's Maletola. And thank you to the Gauteng Tourism Gauteng Tourism Authority for much needed information. On the Zoom platform, there's a lot. Please forgive me if I don't read everybody. I mean, this has been such a beautiful interactive discussion. There's so many comments. We're not able to unpack everybody's comment, but I think what will help us is that somebody says here, could we please have access to this recording? Because this was recorded to this recording. And may we please have access to the speakers in terms of email addresses is what we can give if you allow us to do that, so they can have separate discussions with you with the greatest of pleasure. We will do that. Somebody says, okay, they're telling you that they've been a part of tourism. I think somebody here is a Soweto Tourism 2024 award winner. I'm assuming that's who they are. And it says anonymous, so I don't know the name. Jalos and Nomsa, thank you for all the inspiring presentations. Can I be part of any of you? I am a storytelling, performance, and children's book writer. Okay, we need something for our children. Eastern Cape, somebody wants to know if we have a footprint in the Eastern Cape. And from a Proud SA perspective, yes, we do have, because we are a national campaign. And what I want to say, Luxolo, is that, look out for our communication on our platforms, and you will see when next we will be in your region. Yes, so the panelists have said, yes, we can give you their contact details in moderation, of course. I'm tempted to say I'll give you their ID numbers, their home addresses, their cell phone numbers, their spouses' numbers, where their children go to school. They can run, but they can't hide, but I can't do that. But we'll give you their email addresses, and I can assure you that Tembiso's office, Mel's office, Sakumzi's office, they will respond to you. Proudly SA will respond to you. With that said, thank you so much, everybody, for joining us. And I just want to say to Mel, please do your goodbyes, Mel. But on behalf of Proudly South African, we appreciate your time, everybody who connected. Twitter was busy, so was Facebook, so was LinkedIn. Thank you. Thank you, Mel, for always showing up, sister. I have no words for you. You know our hustle. Sakumzi, welcome to the Buy Local movement. I'm surprised that you didn't get rid of me and my team the last time we visited for lunch. Lunch started at 12. It ended at 6. That tells you. That tells you. We had such a great time. Yeah. That tells you. And I just reassured my boss, we are working hard. We are interacting with customers. Thank you so much. Your parting shots, Mel?
Wow. Thank you so much to Proudly South African. I think, the collaboration between a validating brand in South Africa and tourism is an extremely important one. Cross collaboration between you as a brand and tourism industry just literally shows that we are all part of the value chain. There is nobody that is not part of tourism. If you are a homeowner, if you are a crèche, if you are part of the value chain. And I just hope that this will not be the last one where we actually sit together as entities and we share the fact that we are a collaborative effort to make sure that brand South Africa looks good, sells good, presents good, authentically so, and we are a super amazing nation. I just hope that we're going to have another one very soon, very, very, very soon, because some of the pointers that came out of here really need some kind of a conversation and they need to be outlined. And we need, we just need action plan from here onwards. But from an SMME, from Soweto, from brand Soweto, guys, Soweto is ready for business. Gauteng is ready for business. We are open to the world. We are investment ready. We are tourist ready. So just come and explore and experience us. We are ready to service you at your own convenience.
Thank you so much, Mel. Thank you, bless you. Sister, for parting shot.
Thank you so much for this conversation, and thanks to you and Proudly SA team for putting it together. I think we have to keep it flowing. It doesn't end here. And I think as Gauteng Tourism Authority, just to say that our province has got 5 regions, 5 beautiful regions, and we've got a challenge to actually promote all our 5 regions, from Johannesburg to Tshwane to Ekurhuleni to Sedibeng to West Rand. And the people who are better positioned to assist us are the product owners, the entrepreneurs, the restaurant owners, and everybody who's part of that value chain. And we're looking forward working with you to take Gauteng to create Gauteng as the premier destination. Please, I encourage everyone, like I challenged Mel, we've got a Gauteng Traveler app guide, which is a platform that has been created by the authority as a market access platform. Please register your product. If there's a training need, please contact us so that we can see how we work with our partners to bring that, those capacity building initiatives to your business. With that, thank you. I look forward to just a continued conversation and obviously our partnership with Proudly SA, because we are indeed joined at the hip. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you, my sister. Really appreciate it. Akumzi, your goodbye.
Thank you, Happy, for today. It was quite nice to be invited here and looking forward to be a member of Proudly South African by end of this week. If your office is moving faster, we should have paid, we should have filled all the forms, because we believe in you, that the wonderful work that Proudly South African does to influence corporate government to procure from small businesses, from all the products that are South African made. So we wish you all the best in your work that you do. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Team Proudly SA, you are online. You heard. So Kumzi says he wants his membership this week. Let's make it happen, please. This week. Thank you so much, everybody. Have a beautiful day further. Those of you online, thank you so much for joining us. Goodbye, everybody. Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.